Hello once again, and a very warm welcome to the Ontario Soccer Centre in Vaughan, Ontario, and the 2015 OPDL Charity Shield matches. I'm Nigel Reid. It is time for the second game in a double-header. It is time for the U14 Boys Charity Shield game between the Western Conference champions, the Richmond Hill Raiders, and from the Eastern Conference, Ottawa South United. Both teams had outstanding seasons, topping their conferences. Richmond Hill, 16-3-3 to be placed first in the West. And Ottawa South had a record of 16, just 4 losses and 2 ties. And it's worth bearing in mind that Ottawa South racked up no less than 98 goals in a regular 22-game season. So they are full of goals, and they'll be hoping to exploit the gaps against the Raiders this afternoon. Some of the names to look out for. As far as Ottawa South is concerned, 2 names really stand out in the goal-scoring stakes. Danny Asaf with 25 goals in the regular season, and Luca Nicastro with 23 goals, scored the bulk of the goals for Ottawa South in this previous season. And also weighing in with 13 goals was the captain Antonio Carlini. So those will be the major threats for Ottawa South, playing in an all-black uniform. Richmond Hill playing in green and white hoops. Well, they have goal scorers of their own as well. Judea Patterson is probably the main threat. Where's number 12? 13 goals for him in the regular season. Mackenzie Coble will play on the left-hand side of that front three. Scored 10 goals. And Aristeo Clare, a lot of important goals for the Richmond Hill number 11. He scored 8 goals in the regular season as well. Of course, it's not just about scoring goals. It's about defending those foraging runs and set pieces as well. But it will be Richmond Hill in those green and white hoops and white shorts who will get us underway. Whistle from Silvio Petrescu, former MLS Referee of the Year, gets us underway. 2 teams that met just once in the regular season, and that particular encounter went the way of Richmond Hill. They won by 3-1 on that day. Patterson, Luka Magutis, the centre-back, and the aforementioned Coble, all on the goal sheet that particular day. Danny Asaf replied for Ottawa South, and he'll be a real handful, you feel, up front. So Richmond Hill then, kicking to your goal, to your right in this first of 3 30-minute periods. Thinking behind 3 30-minute periods as opposed to 2 of 45 is that it does give the coaching staff a chance to talk to their players, to make substitutions at third-way intervals. It's all part of the development process. This is, after all, the Ontario Premier Development League. So these young players need some coaching, of course, and development. And that is the reason we will have 3 30-minute periods. In game, 3 substitutions per period, and between the periods, unlimited if necessary, depending on the state of the game. Eliopius, the left back for Ottawa South, inviting a run from Dorset. Nathan Dorset operating on the left side of the midfield for Ottawa South. So these teams, although they haven't met very much, will know plenty about each other. And in these early minutes, both teams want to settle down, get a feel for the pace of the game, and a feel for the turf. Coming together, but accidental, says Silvio Petrescu. And no whistle blown all the way through to the Richmond Hill goalkeeper, Francesco Totti, in that blue top. Magutis back to his goalkeeper. That was a little dangerous, but they got away with it. Out to that left side, Justin Rehack, dispossessed. A chance for Ottawa South to mount some pressure in these early minutes. But you get the feeling that all the players just want to get a touch of the ball, get themselves up to speed with the pace of the game. And that was Jack Penson, the centre of the defence for Ottawa South. Both teams will want to be solid and secure in the opening going. They don't want to present too many early chances to their opponents. Just feel their way into the game, both as a team and also those individual matchups which will become so important as the game continues. Torsini to halfway. In the way Ryan Lindsay playing in the centre of midfield for Ottawa South. There was a debate about whether Lindsay would be able to start this match. He's been suffering from strep throat for much of this week. I was talking to his coach Simon Wilshaw yesterday evening, and at that stage Wilshaw really wasn't sure whether Lindsay would be able to start the game. And I mentioned to Simon that the lure of a big game had miraculous curing effects. I said I'm sure Ryan will be fit to play. He said he probably thought I was right, and there he is, Ryan Lindsay out there wearing 42, and there he is right on cue. Lindsay with the ball at his feet, playing as that holding midfield role. Richmond Hill Raiders just trying to play some decent possession football in the early going. Every ball keenly contested, as you would imagine. Lindsay again ran into trouble in the shape of Marco Chang. Luca Castro, the ball forward, looking for Aristeo Clare. Scored a lot of big goals in the regular season, did Clare. Where's number 11 for Richmond Hill? Chang with the ball forward, trying to switch it. There was two over there, but doing a good job at the back of the defence was Andres Manrique for Ottawa South. But here come Richmond Hill again. Left the ball behind. Ryan Lindsay steps in, and some help from Luca Nicastro. Now a chance to build from deep. In this near side, Eliopius. Carlini. Antonio Carlini. 13 goals for Carlini in the regular season, so he'll be a threat as well. A mistake there may cause problems. Well, it didn't find a green shirt, but just for a moment, Jadea Patterson used his pace to get away down the right-hand side. Ball is turned over, but then wasted by Ottawa South, and all the way back to Torsini. 6 shutouts for Torsini in the regular season. And what he would give for a 7th one today, I'm sure. 6 minutes gone in this first period of the 2015 OPDL Charity Shield. U14 competition, and Patterson away here. Goalkeepers come to cover. And Mr. Petrescu decided there was a free kick. And Richmond Hill penalised. But already we've seen the pace of Jadea Patterson starting on the right-hand side of this front three for Richmond Hill, along with Aristeo Clare and Mackenzie Coble on the left-hand side. So Ottawa South will have to make sure that they're all picked up and they're smart about their defending. Chang, only as far as Nicastro. Nicastro in again quickly. Now a chance for Richmond Hill perhaps to break on that far side with Coble. Ottawa South free kick. Lindsay. Eliopius. on this near side, offering that left back, and Lindsay, as you can see, just operating in front of their back four, alongside Nicastro. Overran it there, did Mensah. And here's a possibility with players coming forward in good numbers for Richmond Hill. Takes a deflection. It'll be a Raiders ball on that far side, midway inside the Ottawa South half of the field on the far side. So organisation the key defensively here for Ottawa South. Make sure who's around you, awareness of your space. Grayson Haidari. Force back to Marco Chang. Ball forward. A little bit of trickery on the edge of the area. Strong defending from Ottawa South. Almost got himself mixed up there, did Carlini. Managed to hold on to the ball. Chang, the ball forward quickly. Mensah cuts out the initial danger. Castro was in there as well. Going to fall to Nathan Dorser. Loose ball picked up by Grayson Haidari. Ball forward by Ryan Lindsay. And out of play for the throw to Ottawa South. 9 minutes gone. No score. Neither goalkeeper seriously tested yet, but both teams showing good endeavour. Dorser. Given away this time by Lindsay. And then a hard challenge coming in from Nana Mensah. Mackenzie Coble none the worse for the experience, but a definite free kick for Richmond Hill as the big men begin to make their way forward. Just chipped forward invitingly, couldn't get the right purchase on it. And behind for a goal kick. Working their way out from the back. Carlini. Nicastro looking to change it. Trying to play it inside the fullback. He wasn't far away from being right on the money there. It will find its way out right this time. Lindsay skips round one challenge. The ball not strong enough, nicked away. And then poked out of play. Took a deflection, in fact, it will be a Richmond Hill ball. Busy little player, Patterson. Always wants to be in the thick of it. Carlini already having an effect on this game. Quick feet. Always looking for an outlet and a teammate. Dorser making his way forward. Possibilities here. Did he just overrun it? He did. But Richmond Hill trying to keep the move going. They switch it to the left-hand side. Lindsay steps in again to good effect. And now there's some time for Carlini. Nicastro. And Lindsay. Good understanding in that central midfield engine room between those two. Lindsay and Nicastro. Ottawa South ball. Just level with the edge of the penalty area. Carlini swings it in. Danger not away yet. That's a foul, surely. Untidy challenge from the back. And a real chance here for Ottawa South. Nicastro standing over it. Now, will he go for goal or will he float the ball in? Luca Nicastro. What sort of delivery does he have from the free kick? Floats it in. Dealt with originally second phase ball. Nicastro is still there. Out-muscled this time. Richmond Hill with a chance to break, but they turn it over. And comes to Mensah. Mensah again. It'll be a Richmond Hill ball. Mensah trots back to his central defensive position. Charge down. Possibilities here. Just ahead of Danny Asaf. You really can't afford to give him that much room. But they dealt with it. He's going to be a perennial danger. Big, tall young man. Danny Asaf just lurking on the edge of the penalty area. Lindsay picks it up. Lindsay again intercepts. Asaf trying to get an important touch. Mensah lets it run. Jack Pensome to Manrique on that far side. And out of play for an Ottawa South ball, right on halfway. Well, it's a well-contested game, but you get the feeling that both teams still looking to settle into their respective rhythms. Looking to switch it, but didn't get over the top of Dorset. Patterson making a run down this near side. Did well, Patterson. Now he needs some help. That's clever. Patterson still there, but making his way in field is Hadari into the penalty area. Can they make Hadari? Swings it across. And it's going to go behind for a corner off Manrique. First Richmond Hill corner of the game. So for the Raiders, a chance to really test that back line of Ottawa South. Looks like it'll be a right-footed in swinger towards the near post. Didn't get past Manrique. Shouts of shoot from the crowd rather than on the field. And out of play harmlessly for a goal kick. Zach Barwick is the goalkeeper for Ottawa South. Had an outstanding season himself with 14 shutouts. Lindsay looking long, looking for Danny Asaf. Didn't reach him. Lindsay again, this time with the header, managed to judge the bounce properly, and then Carlini is bundled over. And a free kick for OSU. Nicastro quickly for Manrique on that far side. And the right back will have to be quick this time. And now he's out of position and a chance to break. In again quickly was Ryan Lindsay. Needs some support. The black shirts are back to cover in numbers. And hook it away into touch for a Richmond Hill throw. Justin Rehack well forward. Mensah with the volley clear. Asaf with the header on, but there's nobody beyond him. Lindsay with the header. Need to get it on the ground. That was meant for Nicastro. Patterson trying to judge the bounce of the ball. Tigerish player, Jaded Patterson, and rewarded for his industry. Over to Coble on that left side. 2 in the area to aim for. Coble might go himself here. Well, just as he was to pull the trigger, they closed him down. And just as well they did. Patterson again on this near side, waiting for the service to come. Some help from Hadari. Patterson into the area. And behind for a corner. Richmond Hill just beginning to get into their stride offensively. So second corner for Richmond Hill, this time from the opposite side. Right-footed outswinger, you feel this time. Goalkeeper's come, didn't get there, problems. Lindsay was quickest to react, but Zach Barwick mishandled the cross, came to find it, but couldn't collect it cleanly, and was helped out by his defenders. Mensah volleys away for OSU, but the pressure not gone yet. Still players in the penalty area if they can be found. That's a good run. Oof, well, all the way across goal. And Barwick managed to gather it at the second attempt. Danny Asaf back to goal. He really is the target man for OSU. It'll be an Ottawa South ball on that far side. As mentioned at the introductory stage, Asaf with 25 goals and Nicastro with 23 goals, largely responsible for the close on 100 goals that OSU scored in the regular season. So we haven't seen much of them yet in an attacking force, but the stats don't lie. We know that they are more than capable of hitting the back of the net if the opportunity presents itself. Lindsay inside for Carlini. Lindsay again, dispossessed, crowded out, and now it's 3-on-3 for Richmond Hill as the black shirts funnel back. Patterson, round one, can he keep it in? Patterson, ball into the area, it's going to come to Coble. Oh, it's the opening goal. The opening goal goes to Richmond Hill. Patterson with the hard work down the right-hand side, cut it back into the middle, and the opening goal for Richmond Hill. And it may well be Mackenzie Coble who got the final touch. I'll wait for confirmation on that in just a moment, but there is no debate that Richmond Hill have the opening goal with 9 minutes remaining in the first period. And just to confirm, it was Mackenzie Coble cutting in from that left-hand side. And a right-footed managed to chip the goalkeeper and give Richmond Hill that important early strike. Well, let's see if that makes a difference to the way OSU set up and the way they handle their possession and the way they make their way forward in an offensive fashion, because Coble just wasn't picked up as he came in. And here we go again with Patterson on the right hand side, already an assist, thinking of going for goal. Patterson He was crowded out in the end. He had Coble to his left, but chose to shoot himself when maybe the pass was the better option. Lindsay. Nicastro looking to that right-hand side, but picked off again. And for all their possession in this opening period, the black shirts of OSU find themselves a goal in arrears. Here they come again with pace over halfway, but another misplaced pass. And that opening goal came from a turnover. Suddenly it was 3-on-3. And OSU just couldn't reorganize quickly enough, given the pace of Judea Patterson, who managed to cut the ball back for Coble. And OSU certainly can't afford to do that again. Forward by Leopius. In quickly Dorset. That'll run through to Barwick, who was somewhat stranded in no man's land because when the ball came over from the right-hand side, he just advanced a little to close the angle. But when Coble came in, he found the goalkeeper just 3 or 4 paces off his line and was able to chip him into the back of the net. Asaf will give chase, but that'll run all the way through to Torsini in the Richmond Hill goal. And Richmond Hill, buoyed up by that early goal, beginning to ping the ball around with some confidence here. That's nicely done. Here's the captain, Magutis. Patterson again from that right-hand side. Coble again. That was the combination for the goal. Can Coble score again? Just stepped on the ball at the all-important moment. And then a shot from distance is going to go wide from Chang. But you can tell there's a spring in their step, and it's a spring of confidence in the Richmond Hill step at the moment, having got that goal. 5 minutes left in this first period, as Luca Nicastro picks up the ball for OSU, rides a couple of challenges, finds Danny Asaf, but they can't hold on to the ball, and the turnover again might lead to a counter-attack, looking for that pace of Patterson down the right-hand side again. Hidari and Chang combining effectively. Sensible possession by Richmond Hill. Then the switch, looking for Coble. Over cover was Manrique. Raiders throw on that far side. Coble with the flick on, but to no one in particular. Mensah picks it up. Looking to find Danny Asaf. Nicastro. The idea was the right one, trying to play it outside the fullback. Torsini has room to clear, but makes a bit of a hash of it. And OSU will get the throw deep inside Richmond Hill territory, level with the edge of the penalty area. Manrique will take it. Out of play, but harmlessly as far as Richmond Hill is concerned, and a goal kick upcoming. They lead by a goal to nil. 9 minutes remaining in this first period when Mackenzie Coble and Judea Patterson combined to open the scoring for the Richmond Hill Raiders. Coble was also on the score sheet in the only regular season meeting between these two teams, which Richmond Hill won by 3-1. Danny Asaf, offside. Well, he hasn't had much service so far, Danny Asaf, but you get the feeling that that is bound to change sooner or later. You don't score 25 goals in a season unless you have an understanding with your teammates, unless you get the service. Lindsay tracking back. Possibilities here. Alistair Clare combining once again with the effective Coble on that left-hand side. Just over 2 minutes remaining in this first period. Coble for Colangelo. Looking to switch it for Patterson. It needed dealing with. Well, there was a shove in the back by Patterson. And it will be a free kick to Ottawa South, which Barwick deals with. Finds Pensome. Ball forward, long ball forward over the top of Asaf. And too far ahead. All the way through to Tassini. Tassini's ball. Looking for Patterson. Wins the initial header. And then down in a heap goes DiMarco. Luca DiMarco. 7 goals for him in the season. Also tends to take the set pieces and the corners, the Richmond Hill number 9. But he leaves this one for Marco Chang. Looking towards the edge of that penalty area. Lindsay with the clearing header. And out of play for a Richmond Hill throw. Closing moments of the first of 3 periods, 3 30-minute periods. And you hear the whistle of Silvio Petrescu. And that is the end of the first 30-minute period, earmarked by a fine move down the right-hand side on the breakout, where Patterson combined his pace and skill to find Mackenzie Coble for the only goal of that first half. And after the first period here of the 2015 OPDL Charity Shield, Richmond Hill Raiders lead Ottawa South United by 1-0. Welcome back to the Ontario Soccer Centre and the start of the second period of this OPDL U14 Charity Shield game between the Richmond Hill Raiders in the green and white hoops and white shorts and the all black of Ottawa South United, respective champions of the East and Western conferences. Richmond Hill leading by Mackenzie Coble's first period goal, and they have elected to make no substitutions after that first period. If it ain't broke, don't fix it, I guess, is the message loud and clear from the Raiders. As far as Ottawa South are concerned, 4 new faces. And number 6 is Matthew Phillips, holding midfielder. Number 7 is Brian's son. Number 12, Peter Damianakos, comes in, as does number 55, Adamo Salvatore. Rather clumsy challenge, and recognised as such by referee Silvio Petrescu. Free kick to Ottawa South. Castro the ball forward, but Richmond Hill clearly very comfortable with the way they managed those first 30 minutes and are happy to continue in the same vein. Looking for the outlet, and the outlet for OSU is always Danny Asaf. Hasn't found the service yet, trying to stay onside as the ball is played forward. Now played to this near side. Brian's son, one of the substitutes, just ran across Carlini. Ryan Lindsay picks it up, finds some help from Damianakos down that left-hand side, who wins the throw for OSU. Danny Asaf, hands on hips now, looking to make his run. It's behind him. That's Brian's son, but a high boot. And a free kick for Richmond Hill. Brian's son, wearing number 7 for Ottawa South. That black jersey, had a productive season himself. We see a first glimpse of him now. 11 goals in the regular season. Offside flag on that far side. So Ottawa South on that left-hand side with Heliopius. Luca Nicastro looking for an outlet. Finds Salvatore on this near side. Matthew Phillips, another of the substitutes, is slotted in the centre of defence for OSU. Ryan Lindsay plays the ball forward, helped forward again. Intelligent ball if they can keep it in. Asaf making his way into the penalty area. Took a deflection and it'll be out of play for a corner, which Nicastro will take. 5, now 6 OSU players inside that area looking to make the telling contact. Up goes Asaf, just glanced off his head, couldn't get a telling touch on it, and behind for a goal kick. Frustrating game so far for the OSU number 8, Danny Asaf. Hasn't had a clear side of goal, hasn't had the service that he would want to turn those offensive opportunities into real goal-scoring chances. But then credit to the Richmond Hill backline for keeping him quiet and for doing their job diligently. OSU ball on that left-hand side. Over the top of Lindsay. Patterson. Real live wire in that first period on the right-hand side of that front three for Richmond Hill. An assist for the goal, but clearly has good, quick feet and a very good turn of pace. Carlini brings it forward. Carlini again with the give and go, goes to ground. Carlini wins the throw, finds Lindsay with the quick free kick. Salvatore on this near side. Richmond Hill playing a good pressing game, forcing turnovers like that from OSU. Not allowing those black shirts to get into their stride to give them time to measure their passes. Lindsay's done better than most. Lindsay was looking for the run of Brian's son, but he rather waited for the ball to come to him than went and found it. Salvatore now Son. Good skills to evade a couple of tackles there. Back to Salvatore. But dispossessed, he got isolated, and there's possibilities here as they look for the shot, but in the end it's harmlessly wide. But OSU can ill afford to be caught in possession in those sorts of positions, because Richmond Hill have their tails up and they're full of running. Header for Marco Chang. Quickly in and effectively so. Jack Pensome away into touch for a Richmond Hill throw. Pensome again with the safety first header on that far side. Richmond Hill preparing to make their first adjustment, their first substitution. And we're going to see Lenny Colombo coming on very shortly in place of Luca Di Marco. During the passage of play, 3 substitutes permitted while the game is live. And in those intervals, those 5-minute intervals between the periods, the coaches have license to change as many players as they want. So we're going to see Lenny Colombo coming in for the first time. Generally plays as an attacking midfielder. And wears number 17.
Substitution, number 9, Luca Di Marco, replaced by number 17, Lenny Colombo.
That's a little loose, a bit of a hospital ball, but they got away with it. Good first touch from Danny Asaf. Now they're trying to spread it wide with Brian's son. He needs a little bit of help. He's being boxed in, but he did well. Salvatore was in help. Son will pick up the loose ball a second time. And Nicastro manages to feed Pensome. Back to Jack Pensome. Rather telegraph that one. And Richmond Hill can break again. With the quick feet. Coble again. The goal scorer trying to get it on his left foot. Forced away from goal. But there's support in numbers. Castro brings it away for Ottawa South. Danny Asaf using his body strength and winning a free kick. Son takes it quickly. Finds Nicastro. Only one man on that far side, and that is Damianakos. Whistle's gone. It'll be a free kick to Richmond Hill. Ottawa South really struggling to put together any periods of sustained pressure on that Richmond Hill back line. Just fleetingly we see glimpses of what they might be able to do, but it hasn't really come together for them yet, despite those 4 changes after the first period. Now Nicastro out-muscled again. They're working really hard, Richmond Hill, to close down, deny space. It's not always pretty at times, but it's effective. And they do have that 1 goal cushion given to them by Mackenzie Coble in the first period. Salvatore, square, away by Chang. Now Lenny Colombo, first chance to see what he can do. And now there might be possibilities here. Just wide. Probably should have done better. Joneda Patterson got him behind. Used his pace to get beyond the last defender. But the ultimate shot just a foot or so wide of the goal of Zach Barwick. But he'll have felt that that should have been 2-0 Richmond Hill. Good work by Carlini. OSU ball on that far side. They had better patient periods of possession in the first period. Towards Asaf. Wins the original header, and then 2 of them went it together. One of them was Carlini. Ball still alive. Looking for Patterson on that far side. Not this time. And then Asaf was coming back from an offside position, so he couldn't challenge for it. No problem for Tassini. Up to halfway, looking for Colombo. Nicastro making a nuisance of himself. Richmond Hill pick up possession. Ottawa South, Asaf. Can he get in behind this time? Offside against Danny Asaf. Not for the first time. He's got to time those runs better if he's to make use of his strength and his ability and his goal poaching nous. Handsome away for Ottawa South. But they've been caught again here. Patterson. Handsome, long, but inaccurate. Once again, Asaf was the target. But they're really not hitting the big striker as they'd like to. And however many goals he scored through the regular season, he simply cannot do it all by himself. From an offensive point of view. That one hit the roof, so we will restart with a drop ball. Patterson. Contesting it and winning it at the second attempt. Using his speed, that low centre of gravity, just a little guy, Patterson, but, well, out-tricked this time. Asaf will give chase. Richmond Hill should deal with it. In the end, the last touch came off the OSU striker. Asaf chests it down. this time long. Pensum should deal with that for Ottawa South. In the end, the bounce almost deceived him, and he's forced to knock it out for a throw. By and large, Richmond Hill looking very comfortable. Pensum was in the way of the shot. And using, well, is it a handball? It was. It bounced awkwardly. Asaf, well, too quickly for the referee's liking. The ball was rolling, says Silvio Petrescu. It wasn't a stationary ball when the free kick was taken. Had it been, Danny Asaf might have been off to the races there. So, Nicastro short. Asaf back to goal. And the chip forward, but there's no one there. Easy again for Torsini. And no great pressure on the Richmond Hill defence. Looking along. Salvatore battling for possession. A little too strongly for the referee's liking. Concedes the free kick, Salvatore. Coble gets to his feet. And Magoutis, the Richmond Hill captain, will take it. Swings it in invitingly. Patterson battling for it. Dispossessed on this occasion, but the loose ball will break for Richmond Hill. Colombo. Cross to clear was Pensum. Looking to keep the pressure on over the top of Colombo. Not dealt with properly. Might well be the second goal. It is. And it may well be Mackenzie Coble again. Scruffy goal. But the goal counts nonetheless. And it is Richmond Hill that celebrate a second goal after OSU failed to clear their lines. Goalkeeper got a touch on it, but I think it was Coble at the far post who managed to get the important final touch. Confirm that for you in just a moment, but I can certainly confirm that the score favours Richmond Hill Raiders, who lead OSU by 2-0, and indeed it was Coble who got the final touch. So 2 for him, 2 for Richmond Hill. And that's just about what they deserve on the balance of play, what we've seen in these first 30, 45, 50 minutes. Well, it wasn't a goal that will ever make any highlight reel, but it doesn't necessarily matter how. It's a question of how many. And the cold, hard facts are that Richmond Hill have 2 unanswered goals against Ottawa South United. And Mackenzie Coble has been in the right place at the right time on a couple of occasions. A little over 10 minutes remaining in this second period. Lindsay the ball forward. Looking for Sun, and now Nicastro. Sun again, rides one challenge, then crowded out. Pensum cushions it for Lindsay. Nicastro battling for it, Sun as well. But Richmond Hill have a chance to clear. Lindsay slides in, but not effectively this time. And away go Richmond Hill, searching for a third goal before the end of this second period. Lindsay, plenty of room ahead of him, trying to make up his mind. Carlini, now Sun. Well, that could have gone anywhere. But in the end, it rolled harmlessly through to Francesco Torsini in the Richmond Hill goal. Up to halfway, over the top of Salvatore. Carlini for Ottawa South. Danny Asaf. Carlini's continued his run, went for goal, but got his angles all wrong. Did that stay in? No, it's gone out of play. It will be a goal kick for Richmond Hill. It's always good to see teams willing to build from the back. It's the way the game should be played, as the purists would say. Keep it on the deck. Neopius took a tumble there, but he's back on the ball now. No harm done. Goes for goal himself, and that wasn't too far over the top from the OSU left back, Michael Iliopius. Just dipped a little too late, but Torsini had to keep an eye on that one. Handsome in the way. Offside, the call. Little under 8 minutes remaining in this second period. And it is Richmond Hill in the green and white hoops who lead Ottawa South United by 2-0. Both of those goals from Mackenzie Coble. Sun with the ball forward, but intercepted. Here's Coble again. First time ball. Finding Rehack. Now Sun perhaps tracked all the way. Uses his quick feet to get out of trouble. That looked like a handball to me, and to the referee as well. And Silvio Petrescu was right on the spot. Unfortunate, but handball nonetheless. And another potential offensive move comes to naught for OSU. This time the referee penalises Matthew Phillips. Danny Asaf in quickly. Look how far back he's being forced by those eager Richmond Hill defenders. Asaf runs into trouble again, out-muscled. Now, which way is the free kick going to go this time? It's going to be a Richmond Hill ball. Colombo and Asaf coming together. Shade under 6 minutes remaining in this second period. Richmond Hill by 2 and looking comfortable and looking controlled. In possession, and they've taken those chances when they've presented themselves. Damianakos, the ball forward. Might fall for Brian Sun here. It does. Asaf. Once again, offside. Very effective offside trap being employed by Richmond Hill. That's, by my recollection, the third or fourth time they've managed to trap those offensive players of OSU beyond the last defender. And that all comes from drilling on the training field and togetherness on match days. As a back four, you need to move forward and back as one. And Richmond Hill have got it down to a T. Ryan Lindsay facing his own goal. Tukas forward. Sun. OSU ball down below me. Salvatore sprints after the ball, eager to get on with it. Those green and white hooped shirts are back in good numbers. It's been difficult for Ottawa South to create any real spells of sustained danger. Here's Nicastro, who's looked more like Carlini. Couldn't quite get the shot away. It's come to Sun on the edge of the penalty area, battling for possession, but he couldn't keep it in beyond the dead ball line. And a goal kick upcoming for Richmond Hill. Now a chance for Nicastro. Bypasses Lindsay. Forward by Pensome. Asaf did well to take that on his chest. Goes for goal himself, but ball always comfortably clearing the crossbar. Forward quickly, only as far as Salvatore, but returned with interest. Lindsay will pick up the loose ball for Ottawa South. Again, Lindsay in that holding midfield role, but he's been forced to retreat more often than he'd like throughout the course of this game so far. Maybe possibilities here. Well, you've got to take the ball with you. And maybe Mackenzie Coble got a little greedy there. He scored two, and just for a moment I think he eyed his hat-trick when he had options around him. Lemmy Colombo, in comes Pensome. Carlini over halfway for OSU. Here's Asaf, but his precious little support. Still Asaf. Now down he goes, and the referee has pointed, I believe, to the penalty spot for the tackle on Danny Asaf. And a chance for OSU to reach out and grab a lifeline here. Well, Danny Asaf rode two or three challenges, and then there was a leg left for him to straddle. He went over, and Silvio Petresco had no hesitation in pointing to the spot. So penalty for Ottawa South. Asaf himself is going to take responsibility. Danny Asaf, and it's been saved. Went for placement, and a terrific save by Francesco Torsini at full strength to his left-hand side, and a golden opportunity has gone begging for Ottawa South to get themselves back into this game. Danny Asaf went for placement to the goalkeeper's left. It was on target, but Torsini guessed right in the Richmond Hill goal and managed at full strength to parry it behind. Sometimes you get the feeling that it's just not your day. Closing moments of the second period. And Danny Asaf will not get a better chance. Was that a handball? It was indeed. Just brushed off the hand of Luca Nicastro. Free kick for Richmond Hill. cannoned on Danny Asaf, who was nowhere near 10 yards away. But that doesn't really matter now. As Silvio Petrescu blows his whistle for the end of the second period, which contained just one goal, a second for Mackenzie Coble, and also conceded a dramatic penalty save. I won't say a penalty miss because I always like to credit the goalkeepers on these occasions. Francesco Torsini down to his left smartly to deny Danny Asaf from 12 yards. And after 2 of 3 periods in the OPDL U14 boys final, Richmond Hill Raiders leading Ottawa South by 2-0. Matt Coble. Okay. Yeah.
Sure, anything for the final.
Sure. Okay, got it.
You want to got substitutions for me? Sorry, say again, who's in for Richmond Hill? 10 for who? Good. And for OSU?
Welcome back to the Ontario Soccer Centre in Vaughan, Ontario. And welcome to the OSA's live stream. It's the third and final period of the OPDL Charity Shield U14 game between Richmond Hill in the green and white hoops and white shorts against Ottawa South United, all in black. And their mood may be a little dark as well, because they go into this third and final period trailing by 2-0. Matt Coble with them both, one in the first, one in the second period, and Ottawa South not helping themselves, having had the opportunity of a penalty late in that second period that Danny Asaf saw saved by Francesco Tossini. OSU changes to start this third period. Incoming Pavel Vujic. Also, we'll see the introduction of Cameron Shaw, usually a right back, and back at central back is Nana Mensah, tall centre back for OSU. Just the one change at the start of this third period for Richmond Hill. Jaden Shalland coming in place of Aristeo Clare up front. Will that make the difference as far as Ottawa South is concerned? They trail by 2. And other than the penalty miss or penalty save, they haven't really done too much to trouble Francesco Tossini in the Richmond Hill goal. They really need to take a firm grasp of this third period, stamp their authority, show that they mean business. An early goal in these next 5 or 10 minutes would really mean that we'd have a game on again. But Richmond Hill have looked very comfortable. They've made very few substitutions over the course of the first 2 periods. But now there is some defending to do. The header is over the bar and comfortably from a Richmond Hill point of view. Nothing to worry about. So Tossini just taking his time, or kicking right towards, well, Brian's son on this occasion. Now there's some defending to be done. It's a good run on that left-hand side until a clumsy tackle comes in and concedes the free kick. I think it might be Nicastro just getting a talking to there. Managed to stop his opponent, but at the expense of a free kick. The referee just having a word with one of the Richmond Hill central defenders, and a yellow card. Maybe that's something to do, well, I'm not altogether sure. He's going to take the free kick. I'll get some confirmation for you in just a moment. Certainly saw Mr. Petrescu reach for his pocket and issue a caution there. Luka Magutis shown the yellow card for Richmond Hill, the Raiders captain. To my memory, the first of this contest. Lemmy Colombo, the ball forwards. Dealt with back Barwick. Nicastro to that far side. Struggling to put those passes together in a fluent fashion. Ottawa South. Noticeable that one of the changes that Ottawa South made at the second interval was to withdraw their lone striker Danny Asaf. So it's not beyond the bounds of possibility that he could be back, but has had a frustrating afternoon, and then when presented with the penalty, failed to beat Cassini from 12 yards. So Pavel Vujicic, excuse my pronunciation, wearing 27, is the central striker now employed by Ottawa South. We'll see whether he has any more joy, Vujicic, than Asaf did in that central striking role. Here he is, getting involved. Ricochet off the referee. Play on we do. And then Carlini goes to ground and wins the free kick for Ottawa South. Vujicic makes his way forward. Carlini rides a couple of challenges. Some nice play. Here's Vujicic inside the penalty area. The ball just ran away from him. Cleared out to that far side. Still in play. Turnover again. They managed to hold on to the ball. Phillips. Dangerous moments here. And the volley is 3 or 4 feet wide in the end from Nicastro. Once again, Tossini not seriously overworked, despite decent spells of possession from the men in black, OSU. And across to cover Jack Pensome. Ryan Sun battling for possession. Danny Colombo came off his backside, almost got the benefit of the ricochet. Now Carlini, can he make something happen? Connects with Nicastro. Looking forward. Vujicic is making his way into the middle. Out of play for a corner. And that's better, quicker work from OSU. They need to find an extra gear and some creativity if they're going to break down Richmond Hill at the back. Well, plenty forward. There's 6 or 7 inside the penalty area waiting for the delivery. And in the end, it's a tame header, which again fails to trouble Tossini. Mensah couldn't really control the header, and that's going to go out of play for a Richmond Hill ball, and they'll take their sweet time in getting that back in play. The Raiders forcing OSU back at every opportunity. Looking again for Matt Coble. Has already 2 to his name. He'd like to ice the cake with a hat-trick, I'm sure. But I'm equally sure that he doesn't care if he doesn't score again, as long as OSU don't score. And he will end up with a winner's pennant. Mensah for OSU. Trying to play it. Controlled football out of the back. It's always good to see. Phelps. But good pressing again by Richmond Hill. They're really playing a high pressing game, not allowing Ottawa South to take their time and measure those passes And every now and then the mistake is made. Vucicic, Sun, and again quickly and effectively to cover. Richmond Hill ball, but there's going to be a substitution before that. And Luca Di Marco, I believe, is coming back into the game. I can read that clearly over on the far side. Richmond Hill, number 9, Luca Di Marco. Having had a rest.
Jan, you there? Substitutions are good. For whom?
Confirm those changes for you in just a moment.
And the other one was?
But what is not in dispute is the scoreline, which favours Richmond Hill by 2-0. Yeah, so Luca Di Marco is back in, and also a first look at Anthony Pagiamsis, who wears number 14 for Richmond Hill. As described to me, can either play fullback or as attacking midfield, so a utility player, which is always useful to have. Here is Di Marco. Di Marco again, turning, finds Lenny Colombo. Fluidity about Colombo's movement. Ball across, dealt originally with Mensah, not away yet. Shooting chance, didn't fall to a teammate, fell to Carlini, but they've turned the ball over again. Lenny Colombo, out-battled, outwitted, in the end penalised. Vucicic goes down in a heap, quickly on with it, as OSU must. Here's Sun, making inroads up the left-hand side, and wins the throw for Ottawa South United, trailing by 2. Matt Coble with a goal in each of the first 2 periods. Danny Asaf failing to convert a penalty in the closing seconds of that second period. Throw in, says the referee. Nicastro. Something of a miscue there, but they've got away with it. Pensum in, knocks it towards the edge of the penalty area. That should be Tassini's. No problem for the Raiders goalkeeper. A little over 16 minutes remaining in this OPDL U14 Charity Shield game between the champions of the East and West, the Western champions Richmond Hill Soccer Club, and from the East, Ottawa South United. Both, of course, had stellar seasons. Sun with a header forward for the men in black, Ottawa South. Nicastro drops the shoulder. Nicastro. Well, that's better. But Nicastro, having made some space for the shot, couldn't keep it down. Just drifted over the angle of post and crossbar. Tossini clears. Colombo in midfield, looking to break early. Quickly across and importantly across was Cameron Shaw. Operating at right back for Ottawa South. Finds Mensah. And now Jack Pensum. Sun, the idea was the right one, but you don't want to give the ball away to Judea, as they did then. Patterson's shot was charged down. Ottawa South ball. quicker movement, as it must be, because they're on the back foot and they need a goal rapidly to get themselves back in this game. Here comes Colombo again, in field. Coble will make his way forward. Here's Matt Coble. Some excellent work, quick work, defensive work. In the end, the shot is well off target. But it's all part of the developmental strategy for these young players, not only as far as their individual skill sets are concerned, but also operating in a competitive team environment. Nicastro, Carlini. Carlini denied space again. Sun went to ground, but there's a little bit of room here. Carlini. It might fall to Iliopoulos. Sun for Ottawa South. Can they get something going? On the edge of the area, Salvatore. But on the break, it was a late challenge here. The referees played the advantage for the time being. And having played it, well, now, in the end, the whistle goes the other way. But there was a very late challenge before that. I wonder whether the referee will go back and take some retrospective action. It would appear not. Mention for Jack Penson. Here's Antonio Carlini. Looking left, trying to pick out Brian Sun. Does so. And a corner upcoming for Ottawa South. Luca Nicastro over to take it for Ottawa South. Plenty of targets to aim for. Up go the heads. Head tennis inside the penalty area. Carlini back to goal. Mensah. But in the end, Richmond Hill managed to deal with it. More activity on the bench. Ottawa South bringing in two more substitutions. Nathan Dorset coming back, and Danny Asaf back with us. So they realise that time is short. A little more than 10 minutes remaining. They've got to force the issue. So now two out-and-out strikers, Vucinic and Asaf. Can the two of them combine? Just down below me, somebody said, "Take your time, Justin," to Justin Rehack, telling him there's no rush, and he's absolutely right. Richmond Hill in control of this game, and with balls like that, they'll have no problem. Can't afford to give away a third, because that surely would be a goal that would end the game as a contest. As it stands, if Richmond Hill were to get one, we would be in for a grandstand finish. Mensah for Pensum. Carlini. Nicastro. Looking for the run of Nathan Dorset, but out of play. But it is imperative that the black shirts of OSU force the issue and test Torsini more than they have done. Cameron Shaw dispossessed. And then a lunge from Mensah, and he's being called to the referee, and Mensah is going to get a yellow card. Took one for the team there. He knew they were short-handed at the back and he had to stop the run any way he could. But it is a yellow card for Nana Nuama Mensah. And of course a free kick for Richmond Hill. Looking for Patterson on the edge of the penalty area. Knocked forward. Can they keep that one in play? It's angled ball, but it's gone behind, I think. Indeed it has. And it'll be a goal kick for Ottawa South. Everything they do needs to be done quickly now. Carlini. De Castro. Those two have linked effectively. Carlini very busy in midfield, a little over busy this time, concedes the foul. Mensah up towards halfway. Asaf chests it down. There's possibilities here for Nicastro. One to beat. But that one managed to get a deflection and an important redirection of the ball back to Torsini. That one's going to hit the rafters in the building. Clearance. So Mr. Petrescu will be forced to restart with the drop ball. Colombo. Well, Colombo thought he got away with it. Battling with Nicastro. Let's try it again, says the referee. Asaf. Good skills from Asaf, but he's going the wrong way. Vucinic. Brian's son. I think it was Nathan Dorset who's now operating on that left-hand side. Asaf making a nuisance of himself. And they finally won a corner. They're creeping closer, Ottawa South. Less than 7 minutes remaining. They trail by 2. It's imperative they score the next one. Asaf got there again, ahead of the defender, but couldn't direct the header on target. Head in his hands. Knows that was an opportunity as well. He's a big, tall, awkward customer, Danny Asaf. It'll be interesting to watch his development over the next 3, 4, 5 years. Phelps, the ball forward. Asaf turning towards the edge of the penalty area. Needs some help. Finds it. And the help of Cameron Shaw. Back into the area again. Beg your pardon, it was Salvatore with the delivery. Now Mensah. The record, Nicastro. Thinking about the shot, will take it on. It was always curling wide of Torsini's right hand upright. But OSU have got to take chances where they can find them now. Important they get back into this game. Jadeda Patterson, lovely quick feet. Then he tries one trick too many. Nicastro chips the ball forward, but at that point in time, Danny Asaf was out of position. And easy enough for Torsini. Handsome on the half volley. Castro wins the free kick for OSU. Nicastro the ball forwards for Vucinic. Again, diligent defending at the expense of a corner, I believe. Plenty of movement. Rapid movement about those black shirts of OSU. Is this the moment they've waited for? It's still pinging around. The ball just wouldn't settle for them. Head by Pensum. And backing in was Danny Asaf into Tossini. Getting talking to by the referee, and a free kick for Richmond Hill. Inside the last 4 minutes now. Asaf needs to retreat the full 10 yards. Lemmy Colombo with the chest. Handsome the ball forward. Colombo will pick up the loose ball for Richmond Hill. Mac Coble. Oh, yeah, well. And then another lunge, and it'll be another yellow card. Well, no finesse about that challenge. And Coble has stayed down inside the penalty area. I'll identify the recipient of the yellow card momentarily. Well, an opportunity here with less than 3 minutes to go for Richmond Hill to pad that lead. Not being too adventurous, only 2 inside the penalty area. Mensah is first to it. Asaf controls it at the second attempt.
55.
Salvatore, the substitute right back for that challenge on Coble, shown a yellow card, and rightly so by Silvio Petrescu. Less than 2 minutes remaining. Ottawa South need 2 goals just to take it to a penalty shootout. If this game is tied, there would be no extra time. We'd go straight to kicks. But frankly, that looks unlikely. Unless they can score, you'd have to say, with their next offensive move. And then score another one very quickly afterwards. Pensum with the header. It's not the most convincing. Kept in play, but they need to get it on the ground and gain control of that ball. Asaf beaten to it. Flag on that far side, which the referee now acknowledges as an offside. And the danger passes once again. And Richmond Hill can slow it all down, take their time, and get their formation back together. Well, heading for a second straight win over OSU. They beat them 3-1 in the regular season. And here in the OPDL Charity Shield, they have a 2-goal cushion with only a matter of seconds remaining in this third and final period. Whatever Ottawa South are going to do, they need to do it very quickly and very accurately. They'll win a free kick 10 yards outside the penalty area. Salvatore and co make their way forward. Lenny Colombo with a half-clearing header. And then a weak shot dribbles behind, and Tossini will take the goal kick and eat up a few more precious seconds. Matthew Phillips. Jadeda Patterson hasn't scored, but Patterson has been effective, particularly in the early going, in the first period, in that pace to set up that first goal. Another of those young players who we'll watch with interest in the coming years. Luka Magudis, the captain, knocks it forward. Mencha in the way. De Castro trying to play in Asaf. Closing seconds. Is there any sign of a consolation for Ottawa South? Towards the edge of the penalty area. De Castro again. Forceful, effective challenge. Mencha will just have to belt it forward, but is tackled again. Again, good pressing from Richmond Hill. Just a matter of how long the referee's going to add. I think he just glanced at his watch there. We're almost out of time. And Richmond Hill seemingly coasting towards a comfortable victory. Pensum. Infield for Phillips. Vucinic. Maybe one last chance. Vucinic trying to bundle his way through, and in the end couldn't get the purchase on the shot, and Tassini just had to drop on it to his right. Referee, I think, is ready to blow his final whistle. He does so. It's all over now. And healthy applause around the Ontario Soccer Centre for a job well done by the Richmond Hill Raiders. Took those chances when they came along in the first and second periods. Both of the goals fell to Matt Coble. At the end of the second period, the lifeline was beckoning for Ottawa South, but Danny Asaf's penalty was well saved by Tassini down to his left. No goals in the third period, but a good team effort from Richmond Hill, who were the livelier and pressed better, in my opinion, throughout. Ottawa South's day is not today. And for the second time in 2015, a meeting between the top teams in the East and the West goes the way of Richmond Hill. With 2 goals from Matt Coble, they have beaten Ottawa South by 2 goals to 0.